WWE. This time going after the linchpin, going after John Cena, calling him a, quote, failed Mr. Olympia motherfucker. And I'm like, okay, I think the last person I would fuck with is Cena. And it's for legit reasons. The last person I would take stabs at is Cena, because he's probably the realest dude on the roster. No matter if you like him or not, he is probably just one of the realest people, one of the hardest working people you will ever come across. So to take these, like, unnecessary stabs and, like, intentionally, like, name drop and insult people you don't really know kind of shows your, like, intellectual level. But McGregor did a Q&A at Shine Alternative Fitness in Vegas Friday and made it very clear he thinks today's WWE superstars are a bunch of dweebs. However, McGregor really tore into Cena, mocking his bright orange shirts and "you can't see me" catchphrase. So The Rock did it. Does that make you special? I mean, does your mom still cut the crust off your sandwiches and tell you you're special every morning? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. I'm getting, like, spoiled, rotten brat vibe because you're not getting all of this attention before your fight with Diaz. And sadly, you're probably going to get your fucking head kicked off your shoulders. So, I mean, I would talk as much shit as possible because once you lose to Diaz again, you're going to be even more of a laughingstock. So good luck with that.
Oh, and just for the sake of people listening, this was the full quote. Quote, "What's the main guy? John Cena. He's 40. He's 40 years of age. He's walking around in a luminous orange t-shirt and a headband talking about nobody can see him. We can see him right there. He's a big, fat, 40-year-old failed Mr. Olympia motherfucker." End quote. I'm sorry, is there any fat on John Cena's body? I'm pretty sure there's not. And for the record, he's 39.
Honestly, whether you like Cena or not, you cannot discredit the guy. When he walks into a room, he is the hardest working person in that room, always.
Yep.
And, you know, and I'm not even just talking about what he does with WWE. Like, he still is ride or die for this company that made him. And, you know, that's really respectful because you've got guys like The Rock who were made, you know, they were forged by WWE, and you can't pay them enough to stick around. Meanwhile, you've got guys like Cena who are ride or die for the WWE through everything. And that's really respectful. And it's like, it's nice to see that kind of loyalty out of somebody who could easily make a career elsewhere. Like, he doesn't need the WWE. You know, that is probably the truest thing we will say on the show. John Cena does not need the WWE. The WWE does kind of need him. And, you know,
I think it's just
one of
those things that it hawks me off a little bit because John Cena does what he does because, one, he loves the sport, and two, as much as a lot of people would hate to admit, he is a role model for younger generations.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
So you're going to sit here and you're going to talk shit on somebody that is a role model or a hero to these little kids, especially sick kids that use their Make-A-Wish wish to go and see John Cena and meet him. You're literally going to rip on this guy that makes people happy. You're a piece of shit.
You honestly, truly are a really, like, incredibly intense piece of shit. Honestly, we joke and we talk shit on Cena, but at the end of the day, neither one of us dislike him, and we've said that 1,000 times. It's just like neither one of us dislike Roman Reigns either. Like, you know, you might think so because we like to rip on people, but it goes with the heel section shit. Like, we are legitimate heels, and we're going to talk shit on people. At the end of the day, I, you know, kind of, you know, speak for both of us when I say we respect every single person that steps into the ring in some caliber. You know, it's like these people, you know, put their lives on hold. They put their, you know, they sacrifice so much. And, you know, they sacrifice their family lives because they don't get to see family. Like, it's shit we all take for granted. Like, we can pick up the phone and, you know, make plans and see our family, like, next week. These people have to plan to see their families. Like, they have to, like, you know, travel all year round. They don't get holidays. They don't get breaks. I mean, they have to be written out of, like, script to get a weekend. You can call out of your job at Chipotle. You can, you know, call out of your job pretty much anywhere you work if you have, you know, a solid reason. They can't. They wrestle with the flu. They wrestle with fractures. They wrestle with pulled muscles. They wrestle with fucking dislocated shoulders. And they do it because they love what they do. And at the end of the day, if you don't respect that in some caliber, you have no right to call yourself a fan of professional wrestling, period. You do not merit the right to call yourself a fan of professional wrestling. And for two, you don't merit to call yourself a fan of any single person in this industry at all. Because if you can't respect Finn Balor as much as you respect Nikki Bella, if you can't respect Dean Ambrose as much as you respect John Cena, you have no right, period. You need to, it all starts with respect. And to see people who, you know, I'm not going to sit here and discount, because MMA and UFC are both very physically demanding. They really honestly are. And I honestly look up to a lot of the people who do that sort of shit, because I can't even fathom walking into a cage or an octagon with the intention to cause physical harm to another person. Because that's what you're doing. You walk into these places and you are going in there knowing that you are trying to knock another human's block off. You are trying to physically hurt a person so they are knocked out, so they can't move, so they are submitting, so you literally have seen people with broken limbs in mixed martial arts and in the UFC. You see people bleeding like pigs because they were busted up. And it's not Ric Flair furiously blading somewhere. These are people who are, like, authentically busted, noses broken, faces just the fuck arranged. And it's like, that takes a lot of mental fortitude to get into any sort of cage and do that to another human. I talk a lot of shit. I couldn't do it. I honestly could not put myself in the mindset of looking another person in the face and absolutely knocking their block off. I don't think I could do it. So I do respect what they do. I do. I think that it takes a special type of person to do it. But then you have guys like McGregor, and then you have guys like Lesnar even. And when Lesnar was in fucking UFC, he was the absolute worst. And these people have no respect for anyone else at all. And it absolutely blows my mind. Like, fucking knock it off.
Ugh. Stupid idiot.
Stupid fucking idiot. But yeah, our stupid idiot of the week is a literal leprechaun. He is a literal leprechaun. He's like 2 feet tall and weighs like $120. Probably fucking drop. Honestly, I feel like you could drop kick Conor McGregor over a fence like a Chihuahua puppy and just not even feel it. Honestly, like, you're little man, you are not big enough to talk shit. You need to be X inches tall to ride, homie. Like, you need to just sit the fuck down. Go back to your coloring book and your Cheetos and fucking take a breather.
Yeah.
Good times.
We have about 5 minutes left, so I actually do want to kind of touch down on something that I did read this week. Apparently, Stephanie McMahon was in an interview, and she mentioned that they are going to be bringing in LGBT storylines to the WWE. Part of me kind of cringes at the thought of that, but I mean, I understand why it's so important, but at the same time, I'm like, you got people fucking fighting each other in a ring. Why do you need gay storylines? I mean, yeah, your characters can be like that. They had the whole Billy and Chuck crap, the hot lesbian action stuff. Gold Dust was one of those things that people didn't understand. It's weird for me. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think it's interesting to go ahead and explore it, but I also don't think it's very necessary per se.
Oh, I agree. I don't think it's really all that necessary. One thing, just kind of interjecting some candor in that, I made the mistake of reading comments on the whole thing with the WWE, potentially, implicating LGBT storylines. And I was reading some of the comments with like, oh, well, the children don't need to be exposed to this. This is so unprofessional. Like, gay stuff shouldn't be on my television. Literally quotes that I read. And it made my brain ache in such a real way. But, okay, so if you want to let your child watch professional wrestling where grown men and women beat each other up, but the gay part offends you, you kind of need to reevaluate yourself.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge. I mean, if gay people offend you so terribly, I'm so sorry. And by I'm sorry, I'm not. Like, you really need to think about what's more important. But, whatever. I mean, I'm not big on... If there's no requirement for this.
Honestly, though, the funny thing about that comment in general, you're complaining about, like, gay stuff on the programming, but you don't sit there and realize that a bunch of men who are oily and in their underwear are pretty much grinding on each other, and you don't notice that as gay? Are you stupid?
That's so fucking hilarious.
I don't get people.
So, randomly, on a less annoying tangent, my business cat just came into the room, right?
Aww.
Okay, so if you guys haven't seen, my colleague, Maxwell, has a brand new tie imported from Malaysia because he's a fancy bitch. He walked into the room with me, and he dropped something at my feet, and I wasn't sure what it was. He brought me one of the brand new mousey thingies that you got them.
Aww.
So he's like tweaking out, and he's like so proud that I found the mouse that he's sitting next to me with like this big smile on his face.
I love that cat so much.
Like full on toothy smile. Like, I love this cat so much.
He's so cute.
Oh my god. Like, he's got the toothy thing going on where you can see his canines, and he's so proud of himself.
If you guys want to see photos of this guy and his fancy new tie, you can go on Instagram /businesscatmax, and he has some new photos on there.
He is so spiffy with this tie, and he's been wearing this tie since I got home, which was like almost 4 hours ago. And he won't even wear his collar that long. But he has no qualms about keeping this fucking tie on. And he is just so proper. And he's so, like, proud. He just is like this little peacock, and he's so happy with the mice. Like, oh my god, I wish I could, like, record this. It's so cute. Trust me, guys. This is so cute. Like, he's so happy.
I'm just such a proud aunt.
I love you. Hi.
So yeah, we've got like 1 minute left, so I will cut it off here, and we will see you on the other side for our second block.
Good times.